Hi guys, welcome back. Really sorry that I haven't been able to get a video out to you recently. Between being off ill, lessons and just general work, it's been quite difficult to get some recording done. So anyway, here is a new video for you and I hope you like it. Today what we're going to do is review the brand new, I say brand new, nearly new, Titleist u505 utility iron. So this is something I've seen recently as a trend in the market. A lot more manufacturers getting involved with building a forgiving utility iron as an alternative to that utility or hybrid in the bag. So we're going to have a little hit with it today, see what it can do, and also do a little comparison to my favourite club in my current bag, which is the Wilson Staff model utility iron as well. So do a little compare and see how they stack up against each other. Let's get started. So like I said, there seems to be a bit of a trend going at the moment for the manufacturers to offer this hybrid iron, utility iron type of club for you. So obviously you used to have the traditional driving irons, the 1 irons, 2 irons. They were very much just a lower lofted version of the set of irons that you had. Now you have this option of a much chunkier, more forgiving club. And I think due to the fact that clubs can be made much more forgiving now, much easier to get the ball up in the air with the lower lofts, these clubs have started to sort of evolve and become a genuine option for the slightly higher handicappers as well. So that's why I think we're starting to see this trend evolve. Think back to the Ping probably being one of the first with the crossover clubs. You've now got, like I said, my own club, the Wilson Staff Model Utility, TaylorMade Gapper, Titleist have got the u505, Shrixon I believe also have a driving or utility iron as well in their offering. So there's lots of manufacturers offering that kind of utility iron as well as the hybrid options in the bag. So let's talk tech with the Titleist u505. So what's it trying to do? Well, basically it's trying to do what all the other manufacturers are doing. It's a more forgiving, lower lofted iron for the higher handicapper. So it's a little bit easier to get up in the air than a traditional long iron. It's a lot more forgiving when you hit it off center. And the idea is that it's that blend between the hybrid and a long iron. So talking about the actual technology going on in the head here, you've got very similar ideas to the T200 irons and T300 irons that you might have seen in Titleist range so far. You have this hollow design body, which allows them to put a lot more of the weight, the tungsten weight, lower down, further back in the head, and positioned exactly where they want it to be to make it as forgiving as possible. You have this ultra thin stainless steel face, which allows the ball speeds to stay nice and high because the face can flex that a little bit more. And you even have something that looks very familiar to the T200, which is this muscle plate on the back of the club, which is designed again to improve the acoustics of the club. So I'm expecting to hear sort of similar noises or similar sound off this club face as I did with the T200s as well, quite loud, quite harsh. You can get this iron in a few different lofts. This one here is the 3 iron, which is 20 degrees aloft. You can also get it in a 1 iron, which is 16 degrees. 2 iron, which is 18 degrees, and a 4 iron, which is 22 degrees. So lots of options to fit the gap in your bag so you can get the correct loft to suit your bag. If you stop at 5 iron, you could then have 4 iron and potentially even another one in the bag. So let's have a little go with this club now. Let's see what it sounds like and see what it feels like when we give this a hit. So I've got a setup here on what you would expect to see when you're probably trying to choose a long iron off the tee, which is nice narrow driving hole. About 200 to 250 off the tee gets us into good position, but we've got trees left and right and a very narrow target to aim for. So this is exactly where I'd expect to see people wanting to sort of pick up this long iron, get them in play, but also give them a good opportunity to still get to the green. As ever, we have Pro V1 on the floor, which we're going to have a hit with, so all the numbers are nice and consistent. So initial looks down behind the ball are very good actually. We got nice chunky looking golf club, but not so chunky that it sort of feels like it's off-putting. There's a little bit of offset in the hosel, so the club face seems to be set back a little bit behind the kind of leading edge of the shaft. And the way it sits on the floor is really nice. There's a nice sort of flat sole to the club, so the club sits and really seems to hug the floor nicely. You can see a bit of the back of the club head, but for me that's not too off-putting. It just looks really nice and forgiving. Yeah, nice feel off the face, lovely high ball flight, no problems there. And the fairway at about 200 yards, just what I'd be looking for. First shot, very easy to get the ball up in the air, which is a great sign, and nice and straight, which is what we're looking for. Noise off the face is quite harsh, quite loud. It's sort of what I'd expect. It's got that T200 muscle plate in the back, and it's that hollow design still, so it's going to have a fairly kind of wood-like feel and sound to it. That was a little bit off the bottom of the club face, but still got up in the air quite nicely, still travelling well. Yeah. Be absolutely fine taking that on the golf course, no problem at all. Pulled it a touch, that's not going to be in the fairway. Oh, I got through the trees, got lucky. It's a better one. So yeah, definitely very, very easy to get up in the air. This wide sole really does sit on the floor nicely for me. I just feel like I just plonk the club down behind the ball and it just wants to sit square, which is kind of just promoting loads and loads of confidence for me. Sounds absolutely fine. You know, it is loud. It's actually got quite a nice feel off the face. I'd say probably not quite as springy off the face as I feel like my Wilson club is. It feels like it comes off the face fast and the face feels nice and strong. So I think for distance, this is definitely up there. Let's hit a few more and we'll compare the numbers. Just so easy to put up in the air, and starting to hit a few more out the middle now, and they're certainly flying that a little bit further. I mean, that one there, we're about 210 carry, and we're up to sort of 220, 230 run out. So as a club to get off the tee and get in play more often, it's definitely doing that job for me, but it feels so much easier to hit. This is definitely adding that forgiveness and making it so much easier to get off the tee. If you want to find the review that I've done on this club already, tap in the top hand corner there and it will take you to that video. Let's have a look at the numbers now and compare to the numbers with the Wilson staff as well. Okay then guys, so let's have a look at those numbers between the two, the Titleist u505 and the staff model utility from Wilson. And it's not really a surprise, but they are pretty much identical for distance, 201 yards apiece, both running out to about 211 and 212. And we've got very similar numbers across the board. Within 1 mile an hour difference in ball speed, within a degree of difference in launch angles, within a few hundred RPM of backspin, and almost the same launch angle in terms of left or right. I'd launch the ball slightly left of my target each time. So really between the two, just looking at the numbers, there's not a lot to break them down. I think either one for me would be absolutely fine in my bag. Personally, I actually prefer the feel very slightly of the Wilson club. Possibly that's because I'm used to it a little bit more, but I just feel like it comes off the face with a little bit more of a spring, and I like that. The Titleist came off the club face with a little bit more of a solid feel, a little bit more of a crack, and that's for some people is going to be their preference. So for feel wise, you know, between the two, the Titleist is a bit firmer, the Wilson is that little bit sort of springier or softer if you like. Looks, they're very similar. The Wilson is slightly slim, more slimline behind the ball, which is, to me, just looks that little bit nicer as a long iron. The Titleist u505 is actually quite chunky relative to the Wilson. So if you like that forgiving look, then the Titleist could be the better one for you. But if you like a club that is designed and looks like an iron, then the Wilson actually might be your preference, because it's got a little bit less on the back of the club and it's a little less to look at down behind the ball. Like I said at the start, they're designed to do the same thing. They're designed to be that much more forgiving option in the longer iron. So both clubs absolutely do a great job. For me, I'm going to stick my Wilson because that's the one I prefer the feel and the looks of slightly, but the Titleist is absolutely worth going to look at, because I think for a lot of people it could be a great option in your bag, especially if you're one of those that doesn't like hybrids. The u505 is actually a very, very forgiving option that still looks like an iron when you pull it out the bag. So that's it guys, that's my review of the Titleist u505 iron and that little comparison with the Wilson staff model utility iron. Which one would you play? Let me know down in the comments below. If you tried either of them, let me know what you thought of them as well. And if there's any other videos in the future you'd like to see or any other comparisons, whack it down in the comments below and I'll try and get on to making those videos. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please do smash that like button down below as well. And if you haven't already and you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below, and the little bell icon next to it will alert you to every new video I post. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great Christmas, and I'll see you next year.